So many things to do this year. Hello, everybody. Dion Major here with Revenue by Design, and I'm so excited to talk with you today. We are bringing you a special edition of Rev Shots, and as you know, our show Rev Shots is designed to give you quick hits of wisdom across many disciplines and many areas of expertise. The key component for guests to be on this show is that I want you to I share this to tell you that all of our guests have 10 plus years of experience, one professionally and two in their chosen field. So what you're hearing isn't theory, it's grounded in tried and true repeatable scalable processes that work. So that means when you tune into Rev Shots, you can trust the words that are coming to you from our speakers. So excited to bring this show to you. It's like eavesdropping in on all these amazing conversations that you literally wouldn't be able to in the course of a year. So super excited to bring that to you. Leah, you and I have met. I was on your podcast, which I think is amazing. And so, folks, if you have not tuned into Leah Garcia's podcast yet, you absolutely should. Money for some of us is a 4-letter word, and I am on a mission to harmonize that you can make money without being a jerk and be successful without it going to your head. That is our goal in 2025 for Revenue by Design, among other things. So, Leah, thank you for joining today. Tell us and our audiences more about you, please.
Thank you so much, Dion. I absolutely loved our Wealthy Wednesday together. You dropped tons of golden nuggets. I'm telling you, if you haven't watched my edition, that episode, you've got to go back. I'll reshare it because she dropped so many golden nuggets that I actually been using her notes. I saved them. I have them. I promise you I do. They're highlighted. They're starred. She dropped a ton of wisdom, ton of golden nuggets. So yes, my name is Leah Garcia, financial strategist and insurance professional. And it's really my vision to help you, every single one of you, properly protect, distribute, and transfer wealth so that you can build that legacy and create generational and multi-generational wealth. Folks, we've had generational poverty already. It is time to flip the script, right? Flip that script and do a cartwheel and now embrace abundance, embrace more. I don't believe there's any such thing as too much money. I hear people say, oh, that's too much money. Oh, no, what are you talking about? I want to give more. I want to be more. Listen, we came, in my humble opinion, we came here to have an impact.
Yes, 100%.
And one of the ways we have an impact is changing generations in the future. My precious grandson is going to be 6 years old in just a few days. And I was just saying this on the call right before this. My intention is for my kids to do better than I do. And my intention for my precious grandson, because he is going to have a hand up, not a handout. He is going to have the intellectual properties to be able to impact multiple generations. So that's a little bit about me. I'm excited to get started.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So everybody, I want to make sure you heard that. So Leah does a Wealthy Wednesday podcast. So we will absolutely put that link to her show here. You should absolutely listen to it. Again, there's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy.
Yes.
For me, and if you feel like you've got to be wealthy and there's some emotion that you have tied to that, that's cool, right? But you don't have to be a jerk, right? There's humility. Also doesn't mean to be self-deprecating.
Ooh.
And I got to tell you, Leah, like we've got some big plans for myself personally for Revenue by Design, because to your point, turning that cartwheel where we are definitely a for-profit business, marching to creating a philanthropic arm to empower and equip revenue leaders at a whole new different level. So really excited. Yeah.
Oh my God. Look at, I got my notes. I came here prepared. I'm already grabbing some golden nuggets here, Dion.
Oh, it's so amazing. So everybody who comes to Rev Shots, we ask everybody the same question. And again, this is where the criteria, and I use that word very, very loosely, right, to come on the show, is that depth of experience and expertise. Because that's what we're offering our audience, is this eavesdropping into these amazing clients or amazing conversations all across industries and perspectives. Because I believe perspective can bring peace. So that being said, what is the one topic you're hearing right now in the conversations you're having with clients and colleagues and peers, and what are people doing about it?
Yeah, that is such a great question. And right now is the time of year. Most of the clients I work with are entrepreneurs or small business owners, right?
Okay.
So they have some special things that they're thinking about planning right now. They're looking at going to their CPA, bringing that box of receipts, and they're like, okay, what is it going to be? What's the number? I don't want
Yeah.
to look at it. Just tell me and let me write the check. And you know what? That, in my humble opinion, Dion, that is plain tiddlywinks. We have
Yes.
to start doing advanced tax planning. We got to
Love.
start playing chess. And
Yep.
what that means is we have got to start having holistic and proactive planning, which is very, very different from being in compliance, which, by the way, we want to be in compliance with all of our taxes.
Yes,
That's
but that's not the
absolutely,
goal.
that's not the goal. That's
Yeah.
not the goal. And
Yeah.
by the way, a lot of entrepreneurs do this thing. Listen, I came here for the real conversation. Is this okay? This is the
Absolutely.
gloves off. Okay.
Totally. 100%.
Awesome. A lot of entrepreneurs, sometimes they're dealing in a cash-based business
Yep.
and they kind of squirrel some money under the covers,
Yep.
right? And don't really report their income so that they can keep it lower so that they can reduce their taxes. That is counterproductive.
Yeah. Yep.
I talk about growth, money, mind shift. We have to have a mind shift about that. And I said this at the beginning, there's no such thing as too much money. So it's not about doing that kind of stuff because that will get you twisted up. Number
Yes.
one, you get caught, you're going to be in trouble.
Yes.
Number two, it's always in the back of your mind that you gotta keep it under the covers, right? Number three, and this is the biggest one for me, that means that if you ever intend to sell your business, you are kidding yourself. If you're taking a loss every year, if you're having your income keep it on the lower end so you qualify for these different things, you will never have a sellable business. And if you opened up this business, you're getting up early, you're staying up late, you're missing birthday parties and doing all these things to invest in your business. But if you did all of that just to simply close the doors, then go get a job.
100%.
Right? We did this to have something that's sellable, that's inheritable, that's transferable, that we could actually build that legacy.
Yeah.
So what the conversation is right now is like, how do we make money and keep more?
Yes.
And that's called advanced tax planning. That's where we're playing chess.
Yes. Yes.
And I call it the 4-pillar professionals that we need on our team. Number one, we need a tax strategist. Different than a tax compliance. So, which by the way, we want to be in compliant, okay? But we also want somebody who's going to look holistically and proactively. How can I mitigate, eliminate these taxes? Number two, you need an estate planning attorney. Folks, please, please, please do not go on to those little do-it-yourself things. You are a business. We have to have a proper estate plan in place. And if you're a partnership, you've got to have all those legal entities, those buy-sell agreements and all of that. Number three, you need a tax attorney. Because when is the worst time to look for a tax attorney?
When you don't need
one. That's right. And then you need a licensed life and health insurance agent. I can do things that a wealth management cannot do. Wealth management, which is good, they focus on growing your wealth. But I'm going to work hand in hand with those 4 pillars strategically and looking holistically, looking in the future on how we're going to reduce those taxes because there are over 83,000 pages in the tax code, folks. Yes, which means whatever there is, we've heard this before, Dion, and you probably said this on my show. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, meaning for every tax code there is some sort of tax planning to eliminate and mitigate those taxes. This is not tax procrastination. I'm not talking about don't pay the taxes today, but pay it somewhere in the future. I'm saying this is a tax liability. And we have strategies so that you don't ever have to write a check. Now, it takes planning. This isn't something you show up today and then tomorrow we're able to mitigate that $1 million tax liability. Okay, it's not going to work that way. It is something that we have to put in place. We have to have strategic strategy and then understand that it's implementing those strategies. So that's really what's top of mind. People that are coming to me, they don't know what to do. They've been kind of dealing in cash,
Yeah.
or they have this significant tax liability, like somebody who just showed up on my doorstep and they're looking at writing a check to the IRS for over $900,000.
Woo!
Okay, but we can't just um, handle that with a 5-minute call.
No, no. So there's a lot of things that you said there, Leah, and some really, really, really great nuggets. So I think a couple of things. So one is if you, as an entrepreneur, started your business and I think you have to recognize, am I doing this for a lifestyle or am I
Right.
doing this for growth? Because if as an entrepreneur, you're after a lifestyle business, that's fine.
Right.
Just own that. And I think that's the difference, right? And because I know when I went to market years ago, it was definitely, well, the world was very different 10 years ago. And it was somewhat of a lifestyle business in that I went and did my own thing because I wanted a certain lifestyle for me and my children.
Right.
And that's okay. But so number one, so just know your motivation, know what you're creating, have that level of self-awareness. That's kind of what I'm hearing. And then I'm also hearing though, like if you turn that corner and you're going, okay, now I got it. I did the lifestyle thing, but at some point you can either keep doing that, although I don't know how doable that is in this day and age. But I think there's this turn that is taken where you've got three options and it's a choose your own adventure. You can keep your lifestyle business. You can decide you want to grow, which is this turn, this evolution that Leah requires someone like you. And to your point, these pieces of the puzzle that we go from playing checkers to playing chess, and it requires a different level of time commitment and mental process for ourselves and a different mindset. Right. And then there's the component of, you know what? I'm either going to stay lifestyle, I'm going to grow, or I'm going to go get a job.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm hearing. And that mindset shift is so important because our thoughts determine the direction of our feet and what we manifest that comes to us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. You summarized it beautifully. You
Thank
truly did.
Yeah.
And what happens is typically people will have a business for about 3 to 5 years. That's when they start to get things going, right?
Yeah.
They start to make some money. Their lifestyle increases. Maybe they can kind of coast a little bit. But here's the truth. We're either growing or we're dying.
Correct.
So if you're in that coasting and you just have it for a lifestyle, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But it's about that time when they start to realize, listen, I have my friend who went to tax school and they've been doing my taxes. I have a girlfriend who just had a baby and she's bringing her baby in to work the front desk. It's about that time when they start they start to be in the black, right? They're having cash flow and they're having that lifestyle. Now they kind of got to decide, are we just going to kind of do this for temporarily and just kind of enjoy it? Or are we going to upgrade our systems and learn how to truly become the CEO of your business, as opposed to being right now where a lot of them they're the janitor of their business. They're still doing everything themselves. They're trying to do their own accounting. They're trying to do their own social media. Stop it.
Yes.
Okay, stop it.
Love that. And I got to tell you, so as somebody who's been in this boat, right? Like I have spent, and sometimes I'm a little slow and I take a while because I want to do the right thing. But I think to your point is the shift, is the world we live in. Again, 10 years ago, I didn't need help I didn't need a VA, right? It was just a very different time. I had a very different business that I was running. And it's just a very different world, right? Like we live in the 8-second soundbite world. And so I'm literally in the process of filing patent trademarks for reels for reinforcement, because we do sales. I speak and I do workshops, right? And so we're spinning up our library, but teams, we don't want to sit for days and days and days and days and days of training. No. We don't do it right. Adult learning theory has progressed. And to your point, that's why I think sometimes we start grinding gears when it comes to tax stuff is I don't understand it. It's going to take forever. And there's this ambiguity. There's this grayness to it because I don't know what's on the other side of it. And so that's where I think someone like you, and one, again, so that's where we are today. Sorry, let me finish my thoughts. Where, to your point, is again, it's part of that evolution of the world we live in makes it very easy to get help. So you, as the entrepreneur and the CEO founder of your business, aren't the janitor. It might take some work to spin up a virtual assistant. I'm in that movie right now, but the payoff is tremendous at the end of the day. So it's that slow down to speed up and then recognize the world we live in. Again, so just this raising of self-awareness at the end of the day. To your point, do not be the janitor of your business.
Yeah.
Move to being that executive and set yourself up to be seen that way and to operate that way. So how are you seeing? So let's focus on that one of the three pillars, right? Which was our lifestyle business, our entrepreneurs and small businesses that are turning the corner to grow wealth. And then the person who's going to say, you know what, I'm out. I just want to go get a job. Let's focus on those of us entrepreneurs and small businesses that are wanting to take the turn.
Yeah.
What are you seeing people do when they're successful in making that turn?
Yeah. So what it starts with is, in the past, you have all these different voices coming at you. You have your tax professional who's focused on taxes. You have your accountant who's focused on counting the beans. You have your social media that's focused on that, right? You have all of these professionals bringing their information to you, but you are forced to kind of disseminate that and kind of collaborate it and figure out which way to turn. And that's why a lot of people feel stuck. They feel overwhelmed. They feel like they can't make that decision. So really having somebody who is going to help to filter that. You want all of your pillar professionals working on the same sheet of music, where they are not just that they know each other, but they're strategically planning. They're having those conversations. And so they're able to bring you the final paper, here, A or B, and then you make the decision. So what we're doing is, if somebody is in that situation, I would say the first thing that you want to do is you want to start with a CPA. And let me qualify that. Yeah. If you're a contractor, please don't go to your chiropractor and ask them for a recommendation. Like, chiropractor, you want a CPA who is a specialist in your industry. If you are a general contractor, find a CPA who specializes in general contractor. If you're a chiropractor, find a CPA that specializes in a contractor. And also, I would say this, look at your tax professional, because there's a lot of different designations. And I want to just peel back the onion for you. A CPA is licensed by the state. Okay, their certifications are by the state. So if you're a business that really only operates in one state, that probably will be okay. An enrolled agent is licensed by the IRS, and they can work nationally. So if you're a business that has multiple locations, you operate in different states, you probably want to have somebody that has that designation. A lot of them have both. There's a lot of CPAs that are enrolled agents and they have both designations. But if you're looking for somebody, that's what I would do, is I would say, okay, do I operate in different states? And by the way, what industry do they specialize in? Because every industry has their own tax codes that are really relevant to them. So I would start there and interview 3 of them, right? If you really don't know, go ahead and start interviewing them and letting them know, listen, this is my tax liability, kind of this is how I'm feeling about it, and what would you advise me? Yeah. And then I would ask them, I would really get to know them a little bit, because here's the thing. Your tax professional is going to know everything you spend money on.
It's true.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you're feeling some kind of way about them knowing this, you can't be honest with them. It's going to be very difficult for them to help you.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah, Leah, I think that's really brilliant, right? Is because, again, what I'm hearing is, again, raise a level of self-awareness. So think about what you're doing, where you want to go, what you would like out of a CPA, how you work, because there needs to be a little bit of a cultural alignment with whoever's on your team.
Yeah.
And to your point, you can't go to the doctor and be like, hey, I really don't feel good. And they say, oh, tell me about your diet. And we eat like crap, right? And we're eating burgers and pizza and donuts and whatever, right? And we say, oh no, I eat salads all the time. I make my own salad dressing, right? Again, to your point, people, our professionals that are helping us can only help us to the extent we are honest with them.
Yeah.
And ourselves.
Yeah. Say that again.
Yeah. So the professionals in our lives can only help us to the extent that we're honest with them and ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
And I hear you, because it's exciting, right? Anyway, so I think that's really, really important. So when you work with your clients, Leah, how do you work with your clients, and what seems to be a good qualitative and quantitative formula? Meaning,
Yeah.
it's like soft skills, hard skills.
I would say I always like to start with the end in mind. So I want to know what they plan to do with their business. Are they going to sell it? Are they going to bring in a family member? Are they going to train somebody up to be able to take it over? Because I'm always looking for a sellable business. How can we monetize this long term, exit this business gracefully? And so I want to know, what is that legacy? Are they planning to sell it and leave the country? Or are they planning to work in it until, they pat the shovel over them and kind of help them to reverse engineer what it is that they want? And then I take them through the Wall of Wealth, which is my one-page financial plan. Everybody starts there. I am formulating the Wall of Wealth for business owners, but we all start with the basics.
Yep.
And at that core is having the right health insurance in place. Most business owners that I see have the wrong type of health insurance. They travel and their health insurance is not going to be traveling quite as sexy as they think it's going to be with them. Having the wrong type or not having enough life insurance. Yes. Folks, life insurance is at the core of creating this generational wealth and a succession plan for your business. And then having nothing in place for disability. Folks, if you are the everything in your business and you have no type of disability plan in place, as soon as you can't go to work, listen, I have seen businesses who've gone out of business, successful businesses that have gone out of business because the owner had a heart attack. They had a major accident, and now they're immobile for the next 6 months or a couple of years. And that's not setting yourself up for success. So that's what I do is I ask them where they want to go. We start taking them through the Wall of Wealth. And then one thing I like to do really early on is get a business valuation, which is not the same as a business evaluation. I've seen a lot of companies that are going through and they're doing this evaluation. And so people will tell me, oh, I already had one done. And I look at it, it's like, no, that's not what this is. Okay.
Right,
a business valuation will tell you what your business is worth. Okay. And it can be costly, but I partner with a company that will do a very basic one just so we kind of get a temperature check on where their business is so that we can start putting those systems in place. Does that help, Dion?
I love that, Leah. I think that's amazing. And and so you and I are very similar, right? So when I work with organizations, we take everybody through a Revenue by Design annual plan. Same thing. And we do executive goal setting workshops and things of that nature. And so we do the RBD annual plan, executive goal setting, mid-management goal setting, and then frontline operator goal setting. So it's all ticked and tied. So to your point, we start with the end in mind too.
Right.
And I absolutely love that because that gives us an anchor. So I know what my future state is, but I also know where the direction my feet are going. And it gives me purpose in everything I'm doing. And it makes me stop spending money.
Absolutely. And you know what it does too, is then we feel overwhelmed if we can't see the big picture.
Yes.
But when people can see the big picture, they get much more excited about putting in this spending plan. They get 100%. Much more excited about setting up that life insurance because they understand it's just not some arbitrary number. They understand it's part of their succession planning. They're understanding that it's part of their exit planning for their business, right? It's part of their buy-sell agreements. And you know what, Dion, what I know for me, and I don't know if you found this true for you, but anything that I can take off my plate that I can easily leverage for someone else opens up the bandwidth in my mind so that I can be more creative and more productive in my business.
Yes.
So if you're still mowing your own lawn, stop it. Stop it.
I agree with you, Leah. And I think what I'm also hearing, and we go through this too with our clients, is again, that whole slow down to speed up thing.
Yeah.
However, the creation aspect of this, the creation aspect of going through the financial wall that you were saying, right? The creation aspect of creating my annual plan and creating my goals is a one-time thing. So it's like what we share with people kind of as I have to coach people through that, because nobody wants to stop for 3 hours or whatever. And this is a one-time thing. And you have to slow down to get deep, to get this deep into your brain and in your DNA and the tissue. Because once you do this and this planning, literally every day after this is off to the races.
That's right.
You cannot run without this. Like this strategic, like getting deep in your head setting. Otherwise, you're like trying to walk with your shoelaces tied together.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I always love, you always have great analogies. I'm still in that one. I'm going to upgrade it a little bit. I'm going to say you can't run with your shoelaces tied together. See, we're entrepreneurs. We're not in a linear business, meaning that you don't get a promotion to go to the next level and get that next promotion and then make a little bit more the next year. You're here to go from zero to hero. Literally, an entrepreneur can have one conversation and transform and 10x their income. But we can't open up the space for that or even be available for it when we're constantly having all these things running in the background. I got to post on social media.
Yes.
Goodness, we got to get the laundry, all those little things running in the background. I'm not sure what's going to happen with my taxes. We have to let those things go and allow somebody else to come alongside us. And to your point, sometimes we have to slow down to speed up.
Amen. I love that. And this whole conversation reminds me of that meme that says, my brain is like my computer right now with 55 open tabs, and one of them is playing music, and I have no idea which one. And to your point, I love that one. It makes me laugh, right? Because it's so true. And to your point is one, mastering our schedule. So one of the workshop sessions I lead is Day in the Life, that talks about mastering our schedule. To this very point is take the time to pour into your strategic components so you can run the rest of the time and run well. So Leah, this has been so amazing. I wanted to share with you and everybody, Revenue by Design is launching executive goal setting workshops in 2025. This is not the work that Leah is doing, but this is literally like annual planning, workshop style, you and 9 other executives that can come along, go through the exercises, and more importantly, have some peer-to-peer involvement. So I will post the registration link in the notes for this show, but Leah, I'll send that to you as well if you want to share it with your audience. We've got 2 scheduled for Q1, and we'll have 2 more scheduled for Q3 and Q4. So it's a 3-hour workshop for executives, diving into your executive goal setting. Most importantly, when you come to that workshop, you're going to get an implementation and adoption plan. There's enough information out there to choke the proverbial horse on how to do strategic planning. Yeah. There is nothing out there that talks about how do you communicate this effectively to your team.
Right.
That's what this workshop is giving.
That's great. I love that.
Thank you. And that's what myself and I'm partnering with a few other folks where we're going to work with our executives on not only creating this strategic plan, because again, most people have had that training and we get it. Where we fail, where we have a really big gap is communicating the plan to our team to bring them along. That's the focus of this workshop. And we're going to role play and work with our executives on, all right, now that you roll this out, how do you maintain it? So that's
brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So Leah, how can people find you?
Well, I will put it in the chat. You can actually go to leahgarcia.io, super simple. And there you will see my smart link. And I've got a bunch of free tools there that you can take advantage of. One thing I would encourage people to do is to set up a spending plan. I don't never call it a budget. I don't believe in budgets. I think they're punitive. I think they make us go in trouble. Spending plan, right? Yep. And I have a free tool that you can use. And you can also download my free ebook, The Wall of Wealth. I'm also really heavy on LinkedIn, but you can find me in all the platforms also.
Leah, I love that. And we actually run, for everybody, we run an executive group in person here in Orange County, California, as well as virtual. Leah, I'm going to invite you to that. I'd love to have you join us in the new year.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Dion. I always have so much fun. And look at, I got a whole another page to add to my Dion notes. I love it. I'm going to fill the run with your shoelaces on, tied together. So I appreciate all the wisdom, all the golden nuggets. I always learn from you, and I appreciate our
Likewise.
connection so much.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Lee. It was great talking with you. I hope you have a great weekend and a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.